Through hiking is one of the most selfish things in the entire world. Now, when I say that, people think that that's something bad.
No.
Like, when did we decide that taking care of yourself was bad?
Bad.
We tell people all the time, you've got to learn to take care of yourself. But then as soon as they're taking care of themselves, we call them selfish.
Yeah, we reprimand them for it. Yeah.
And it's like, no, if you're hurting other people by doing something, then that's
one
maybe,
thing,
but this is not.
Nope.
Happy trails.
Happy trails, and it looks like it's this way.
Hanging a right beside the big rock there.
All right, hanging right by the big rock. Thank you. So just left the trailhead, had a nice ride with Miss Janet. Spoke about everything from trail names to dogs, to education, to trail etiquette, to making videos and people who you'd meet on trail. So it's a pretty fun ride, pretty interesting and educational. So thank you to her, and give her a shout out. Talk to you guys soon. This is pretty cool. Well, I just met a few hikers on the way through. Somebody asked me what my trail name was. You know, I've been thinking about Remy obviously a lot. So I think that to honor him, I'd like my name to be Remy Bear. So I'm wearing my North Face hat, has a big bear on it, and obviously Remy's kind of a big brown bear. We've called him the big brown dog, Remy Bear, lots of names for Remington. But I think if I had to pick a trail name, that's what it would be. Until next time, guys, Remy Bear signing off. Just stopped a couple of guys sitting on the log up this switchback behind me. So this looks like a good place. Let's take a break. He said, yeah, we're waiting for two other guys, kind of traveling as a group, trying to help each other out. I said, oh, I probably passed them. What they look like? Older guy, younger guy. I said, yep, I passed them. They were stopping, talking to looked like a family that was coming from the side trail from the falls. I just caught the conversation in passing, and talking to the older man, I said, oh, so you're retired? And the guy's like, yeah, oh, so you can do this. The lady turns to the younger guy, so what kind of job do you have allows you to do something like this? And the kid says, I'm doing it on a shoestring budget, $500. Just wasn't happy with my job, wasn't happy with the money I was making and what I could buy with it. So I get up to these older guys up on this log, halfway up. They say, yeah, we're traveling together. So I heard this kid say he's on a $500 budget. Guy on the log says, yeah, you don't even have a tent. It's supposed to rain tonight. They're trying to make it to Hawk Mountain early to the shelter to see if they can get him a place to stay. But man, I've heard it's pretty packed this time of year, especially everybody's starting out on a weekend. And it's supposed to rain tonight. So man, I had a 2-man tent right in the back of my mom's vehicle when we left. Had I known, I could have helped them out, but I guess that just goes to show you, there's other people that are willing to help out too. Hope the kid makes it. Older guy on the log says second attempt. He got 400 miles in last year, maybe the year before, got injured and had to quit. So told him I might catch up with him, help at the Hawk Mountain shelter. And if not, we'll probably catch up another time. Remy Bear out. Well, stopped for a second to use the bathroom. My first cat hole that I needed to dig up here on my trail today. And got back on trail no less than I don't know, a couple hundred yards. Ran into a guy, no pack, nothing on him, just a walking stick. Kind of let me pass, but wasn't sure if he was gonna say anything. So I asked him how far up trail are you coming from. He says, oh, we got trail magic up here. About a half mile, I think he said. Burgers, dogs, beer. Hopefully he can get something to eat. It's pretty cool. Looking forward to my first trail magic. Burgers, dogs, and a beer doesn't sound bad. Man, I'm still getting spoiled. I gotta start eating some of this food in my pack. Lighten this load. Trail magic. Happening today. Well, first trail magic successful. Had a burger, had some baked beans, got a drink, back on the trail. Everybody kind of going through there talked about what's going on at Hawk Mountain. And I don't know, even it's only 1 o'clock. And I feel like it's going to be packed. Then the other shelters, Gooch Gap, so I think 8 miles. I don't know. We'll see when I get there. So decided to go past Hawk Mountain tent site. Next thing is going to come up is a Hawk Mountain cabin site, and then there's a few stops in between that have some views and some potential campsites, and it's about 3 miles from where the tent sites I was just stopping at are. So I'm gonna head to those, looking to see who's maybe up at the cabin site before I move on. So I'll catch up with you guys soon. I'm gonna sign up here. I think it's gonna tell me which way the shelter cabin is. Yep, so shelter and water. Looks like off to the left. And that's Hawk Mountain Shelter, so I best check in with Mom. I'm gonna head down a couple more miles, see if I can get a view and set up a camp 3 more miles. This is one hell of a view. Pretty cool view. Top of the world, maybe. Well, maybe halfway to the top of the world. That mountain over there looks bigger. Take it all in. Max Forrester.
Are we on?
Yeah.
This is Max Forrester, soon to be famous. The Max Forrester Trail Angel story, and I'm Grandpa. Max lets me drive him to a horse camp.
Fantastic. It's nice hearing your story about your journey too. So I can't recall what the guy's tag was, but did radio in Hammondsport in Bath. Hammondsport AM, Bath FM. He talked about living in Bath, traveling around the Finger Lakes, living in Rochester before he moved to California to find himself, and to Alaska to find himself, and found himself in Georgia somehow. Became a Christian and does this. Pretty cool guy. Nice to meet him. So this is a nice little 0.6 walk to get to my campsite. She says it's got a great view, but it's probably not something you want to stay at night with inclement weather. Just past another gentleman, said his campsite's in the next gap. I'm gonna be heading there.
Welcome to day 2, and it's been a pretty rainy night. Tent's still up okay. Definitely got some water in here.
Hey guys, I wanted to let you know that I'm in Dahlonega, and I have all my gear all spread out. And the reason that is because it's poured last night, thunder and lightning, so I was able to hike out from Springer, and I only wanted to get a 7-8 miles in, and there was a couple views I was looking for, but they were all at the top of a mountain, and there was a pending storm coming in, bringing rain, thunder showers, possibly sleet, and I didn't want to be caught up on the top of that mountain, or any mountain for that matter, with that coming in. So I actually crossed paths and did some leapfrogging with a group of graduate students. It was 2 graduate students, the 2 girls, and the gentleman was I think a physical therapist. And they wanted to get a little bit further. My knee was bothering me a little bit yesterday, and I knew I was putting more miles in than I wanted to, but again, that was to get to I think a safer place. Anyways, I didn't do any recording today because of the weather, and I think I kind of understand why you may not see a lot of people recording the bad days or things that go on in bad days. It's just hard enough to get through them as it is. And I wasn't referring to today as a bad day. It was just very challenging with the weather. Showed you a video last night of the weather inside my tent at like 4 or 5 in the morning, and that did continue throughout the morning until probably around like 10. Actually, it didn't really let up. The rain didn't continue, but it did get considerably colder, and we did get some sleet and snow. I broke camp, I think just around daylight, so I would say 6 o'clock maybe. I didn't even look at my phone. Everything was soaking wet. I packed up my bag in the rain, tried to keep that underneath my rain fly as much as possible. Packed everything up, was able to pack up and roll up my tent, and I just shoved that in the bottom of my bag. Didn't even bother drying it out. I was looking at Over the Clouds Hostel, and knowing that's about 7 or 8 miles out, that was my objective, and I didn't have any service, so I wasn't able to call ahead of time and check for availability, and that's exactly the trouble I ran into. So anyways, I ended up hiking by myself for quite a while. So I hiked with Tin Man for a little while. So we came out of the trailhead at Woody Gap with Tin Man. We took some pictures in front of the National Forest sign. He called the hostel. He had already set up a reservation. He asked if I did. I said no, and they were all booked up. At this point, it is probably 12 o'clock. We just finished at noon at Woody Gap, and I was soaked. It was raining. It was cold. It was wet. And I did start considering hypothermia. The one thing that did save my life is in some sense, is that I had this packed away in a Ziploc, as well as my beanie and a pair of icebreaker gloves. So I was able to get in the bathroom real quick, take off any of my wet clothes, put this on, put my puffy over it. I did put my rain jacket back on just because it was outside in the wind, but the hat and dry gloves definitely made a difference, and that was made it more comfortable, at least to wait around those 10 minutes. Those 10 minutes could have been very critical if I wasn't able to get a ride sooner, and definitely shouldn't have been going on. So when I got to Woody Gap, I looked like this when I was picked up by Upstate Hikers Shuttle, and they were able to drop me off looking like this, and now I look like this after a nice hot shower. And I should be 1 to 2 days, probably I think 2 days backpacking and tenting out in the backcountry until I get to the next resupply town, which I'll more than likely get a room at this point and try to do the same thing, as long as my knees give me some issues. Just really tight. It seems to be on the descent more than anything. I don't know if it's coming from my ankle or my calves, but right behind my left knee and off to the left side and the outer side of that, it's been aggravating and almost debilitating to a sense the last 12 hours or so. I'm glad for the well wishes and the send off. I appreciate you guys following along once again, and I'm happy that I can share this with you guys. So I look forward to sharing a couple more days here ahead, and until then, I'll check you guys next time.